Good afternoon. Is it afternoon? Yes, it's definitely afternoon. January 13th. It's about -6 right now, so fairly warm. There is a snowfall warning in effect. But that's coming in later, I think. Right now there's a risk of freezing rain, and I actually feel what almost feels like drizzle, so I hope that doesn't amount to anything, because that's not good for walking. Anyway, I'm headed downtown to work, so this is a two-parter. Like I've done before, I'll walk downtown and work for a while and then walk back. I have the external mic connected. I hope springs eternal. This is the wired one, which seemed to work the other day, 2 days ago when I walked without disconnecting. So we'll see what happens today. My expectation is it will disconnect in about 5 minutes. But we'll start with it on anyway. It does feel a little bit like drizzle, which is very annoying this time of year, because it will definitely freeze on anything it touches if it turns into anything more than just this sort of faint mist I'm feeling right now. Still editing away on this freelance editing job I got to get done today or tomorrow. But I also did a podcast interview this morning with Sarah Hoyt, fantasy science fiction writer and other things, whom I was on a panel with at the World Science Fiction Convention in Denver 2009, I think, or 8, where we were on a panel that I had suggested writers reading their juvenilia, which for her is interesting because she wasn't really stuff she wrote as a kid, but some of the early stuff she wrote. She's Portuguese by birth, and so she's actually writing in her second language, which is interesting too. And that episode will actually go live this weekend. It's not very often that they work out that way, but that's the way this one will work out. So it should be Sunday, that'll be live. Carrying my computer, so I've got a little more weight on me right now than I'm used to. Don't know what route we'll take downtown. It just kind of depends on what the lights do. How quickly I get across Albert. It's about a 18 minute walk from here to the Hotel Saskatchewan, which is where I'm headed. So this will be somewhat shorter than usual. It's possible I'll be walking back in the snow. We'll see what happens. Well, I mean, I'm obviously walking in the snow, but walking in falling snow, I mean. Hi, Kirk in Vancouver. So yeah, we're supposed to get another 5 to 10 centimeters, I think, overnight. More shoveling in my future. You can tell it's fairly warm because there's actually melting on the road, which is good if we get some of the ice melted off. Bad thing is it's going to freeze again, get colder. Not immediately, but next week, which will probably mean a fresh supply of road ice. So far the microphone is hung in there. We'll see. Sometimes it disconnects without telling me too, and I don't know that it's quit working. You can see how much melting we've got on the road here, so. And this is all slush now. But there's a sharpish wind blowing when I come around the corner here. You always get a lot of wind by this building here. It used to be the Sastel building. Oh well, we're not going to make this crosswalk in good time, so we'll probably turn and go up Albert a bit. Royal Saskatchewan Museum over there in that corner. Make sure I don't clutch the cord too tightly. It interferes with the gimbal if I do that. Gotta leave some slack for its adjustments. See, that would be the worst possible timing crossing there, so we'll go this way instead. I haven't had lunch yet, so I'm going to have lunch downtown, even though it's 1 o'clock. The podcast interview with Sarah Hoyt went longer than anticipated. She turned out to be an inveterate talker. But there is no time limit on the podcast. I am the sole arbiter of what goes onto the podcast, so I didn't care. I had a few other long ones like that. Orson Scott Card was the longest. He talked so much it went 2 full episodes. I've had a couple that have gone an hour and a half, and others that have gone an hour 15, hour 20. On the other hand, there are some authors it's hard to get an hour out of. They give very succinct, non-elaborative responses to your questions. Everybody's different. Just one thing you find out doing this podcast, especially with writers, every writer is different. How they approach writing. Sarah will be number 102, I think. I think we'll go down this way today. This will be different. I don't think I walked this way last time I came down here, so that makes it somewhat different. Selection of graffiti there for you. Also, one way I judge which way to walk is how well the sidewalks are cleared, and this one looks pretty good. So. I'll probably zigzag a bit though. Scarth Street runs along the east side of the hotel. So I have to turn up no later than Scarth Street. It's the second person I've seen wearing a mask walking outside. They don't do anything outside. They don't do anything much inside. But they're really not useful outside. All this fresh air. Airborne ventilation is the key. You can't do more ventilated than Saskatchewan in the wintertime. Or Saskatchewan ever. Especially on a wintry day, windy day. Admittedly, today's not particularly windy, but still. Masks outside, really? Now that said, on the really cold days, masks had their appeal just as a kind of face mask. I had one of those as a kid, ski mask. I've never had one as a grown-up. And I associate them with bank robbers, but they are good at keeping your face warm. I don't know if you can buy them. There's another person wearing a mask outside. That's 3 in a row. This is Lorne Street, and it has a stop sign, so maybe I will cross at Lorne here and go up it a ways. Actually a two-way stop. So no, it's not a two-way stop. Oh, it's the next block up. It's a two-way stop, not this block. It's an old apartment building here. I used to know somebody that lived in there, but I don't think they live there anymore. So far, the microphone has stayed connected, as far as I can tell. At least for rent, if you're looking. So, the song running through my head, for some reason, is I never cared much for moonlit skies, I never winked back at fireflies. But now that the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light. I don't know why that has been triggered in my head. Lauren Drugs here on the corner. Old apartment building with character over there. I like turrets, but that's not an original turret, I don't think. I think it was added later. Here, maybe I'll walk down here. So I can go by Tangerine here. Nice restaurant, and they have a kind of a meeting space next to it. You can tell because it says meetings on it. And this is where Sterling Productions is. It used to be a organic food store, but the woman who runs Sterling also runs, I believe, Tangerine. So somebody I've known for a very long time, since she was a kid. Never done one of their shows though. I haven't done any shows recently. Never auditioned for them. I don't entirely know why, except I haven't been very focused on auditions and performing. Regina Lyric Musical Theatre is doing Little Women, the musical, later this year. I might audition for that if there's a role for an older guy. I'm clearly not going to be playing the young romantic leads anymore. Not that I ever did. I was always a character type. It's never the leading man, rarely the leading man. Once or twice, but they were special roles that I happened to fit. Hello.
Hello.
Like El Gallo in the Fantastics. Did him a couple of times. Tony Esposito in The Most Happy Fella. He's the lead role. Romantic interest and all that. Although there's also younger. It's a love triangle of sorts. But I never got to play like, that lyric baritone leading man type. I keep meaning to do more auditioning and try to get back into it some. But of course, the last couple of years, that's been fraught. Hopefully we'll get there after this current nonsense is over with. This side of the Sast Power Building is still covered in scaffolding. I'm working on that for a long time now. So we're almost to the hotel, so as I said, this is a short walk, part one, and then there'll be a similar length walk, part two, once I'm done down here, which could be 3 hours or so. So, you know, don't hang around the computer waiting for it to happen is what I'm saying. Canadian Red Cross over there. Cooperators here. Basendowski Insurance and Financial Services. Law office. This is interesting. I've always wondered who they manage. Beauty spa. Possibly. I need to look at the roles. Clearly it won't be a major central role in the way that, you know, Joe and the girls are, but I think I'll definitely audition. I really want to do a show again. I am a bit complicated to work with for an amateur company because I'm an equity member, so you have to jump through some extra hoops there. There's the amateur form of contract. They still have to pay you a certain amount of RSP money, and so you end up being an additional expense that they don't have if they stick to amateurs. But I've done it several times. Alright, well, here's the hotel. I think the mic worked the whole way, so that's nice. So I will stop here, and I'll be back later. Bye for now. Hello, and welcome to part 2 of my walk downtown. As you can tell from the chandelier, I'm in the Hotel Saskatchewan. Or maybe you can't tell if you don't know the Hotel Saskatchewan, but that's where I am. Now I'm Marriott. I was just having lunch and working in the hotel lounge there. And heading home. Just getting all my gloves and everything on here. Okay, and we're off. But I see the Christmas decorations are all gone now. This is what it looks like when it's not Christmas. Nice clock there. You can see the flags flying down there. It's always windy on this corner. And this will take us out onto Victoria Avenue, which is, oddly enough, where I came in from. You can see it's quite warm. The roads are melting. Get this stupid mask off. Well, again, the person that just walked by was wearing it outside where it does nothing. It's kind of like voodoo. People think if they wear a mask, even though they're outdoors in the fresh air, that somehow they're being safer. Oh, it's just like wearing a rabbit's foot or something. It's all superstition. Victoria Park over there, and looking downtown at what's usually called the Twin Towers, although there's now 3 of them. Oh, it's just starting to snow. So I guess we'll get to walk home in the snow here. I'll walk along Victoria just because it's more interesting. Victoria Avenue here. Cenotaph over there, started as a First World War memorial. Unfortunately, had to become a memorial for other wars. It just started to snow. I looked out the window like 2 minutes ago and it literally wasn't snowing. Literally. Choking on something there. That's Knox Metropolitan United Church over there with City Hall behind it. This is the, as you can see, Administration Center for Sport, Culture, and Recreation. At one point, it was the Land Titles building. If you look way up, you can see that. Well, I guess I do get to walk home in the snow. Not sure that's a get to, more like a have to, but anyway. Every time a snowflake falls in my mouth, I think of the Peanuts Christmas specials. I never eat December snowflakes. They're not ripe. Lucy says something to that effect. And Lina says, they taste ripe to me, or something like that. I think she says, I never eat December snowflakes. And Lina says, they taste ripe to me. They're still saying a few centimeters of snow. They're not being very precise, so that's usually an indication they don't really know how much snow we're going to get. Again, that's City Hall there. At night, that top floor is lit up with orange lights, so it's like a gold crown to represent the Queen City. This is the Balfour, which as I've often pointed out, is a... Now, why is the image so crooked? It's not even trying to be level here. Pretty good that way. When I point it over here, it's definitely crooked. Huh. Yeah, no easy way to fix that. Anyway, that's the Balfour. Again, Knox Met over there. I think that's still called the North Canadian Oils building there, that one. It's a pleasant walking temperature today. That evil-looking building is full of evil people. Not really, but that's Canada Revenue. The tax people. No, they're not evil, they're just government. It's not quite the same thing, but pretty darn close sometimes. To err is human. To really screw things up, you need a government. Why, yes. I am just a bit of a libertarian. How could you tell? A squishy libertarian, I usually say. Rather fond of the Canadian healthcare system most of the time, even though I understand that it's got its problems. And in some ways, the American systems are better. There is no such thing as a perfect system. But I do tend to lean towards systems that enhance individual liberty, because ultimately that's all that matters. It's the individual. Individuals working together to help other individuals. But the only people you help are individuals, because everyone's an individual. We don't exist as groups. We may be part of a group, but ultimately we're each an individual. There. Was that profound? Not sure. It sounded pretty good when I was saying it, but who knows. The snow's getting heavier as I walk. The last thing I looked at said it wouldn't snow until 5, and it's only 3:30, and here it is snowing, so it shows that you can't really rely on what you read. Used to be a hotel there, now it's just an empty lot. And this used to be my publisher over here, as I've often pointed out. In fact, the publisher's name is still on the door, even though the publisher is bankrupt. Plateau Books published my Shards of Excalibur series, but they are, alas, no longer with us, as they say. Take a turn through the gas station here, cut off the corner, save a few steps. I'm not trying to drag this out at all today. I'm just heading home so I can carry on with my editing job. So the whole walk put together will probably only be about 40 minutes today. But at least you get a little snowfall. I'd much rather have snow than that little bit of threatening to turn into freezing drizzle that was going on when I walked over here. Even though tomorrow I'll be shoveling this stuff. There's actually a bus at the bus stop, but not something I'm taking. Actually, I've never ridden a city bus to get anywhere. I've ridden it for like Christmas light tours. And that's about it. And that was years ago. Oh, and the ghost bus tour that I hosted, which was a couple of years, which was a tour of supposedly haunted sites in Regina. He's an office building. Apparently there's space for lease here in the credit union building. I wonder what left that made open that up. This is fire hall number 1 here, the main fire hall, with the traditional tower on it, even though I'm not sure they actually hang hoses up there, which is what those towers were originally for. I thought this light was about to change, but apparently not. There we go. You get the walk light sooner than the cars get a driving light on this corner. We'll go down this way so we can take a look at the cats in the Excalibur Cat Cafe. And again, my mic seems to be staying connected. The wireless one did not. But this one did not on previous walks, so I have no idea what any of that means. I just can't make head or tail out of it. Uh-oh. Someone lost a hat. Or a hood, it looks like. That's the liquor store that sign's talking about there. I know the guy who owns it. This is the Nouveau Gallery. Open. I know somebody works in there. And here's the Cat Cafe. A couple of cats there. And another one checking me out, wondering why I'm stopping here. But I'm not going in. First Presbyterian Church is where we were married in 1997, so coming up on our 25th anniversary this year. Silver anniversary in September. We'll have to do something special for that. We kind of did it this year when we went to Finland. But as long as no one's coming, I can safely cross here. We also bought ourselves some nice artwork, so we may have celebrated a year early. Although we do have some nice wine. I know we have a bottle or two of 97 vintages in the basement that we've been saving. So perhaps we'll use those for our 25th anniversary this year. That wind is picking up and feeling a bit sharper. Well, as you can tell by the melting, it's really not that cold. I wish I knew what was happening with this restaurant, if it was defunct or if it's coming back, if things improve. I don't know. I always like to go in here because it's within walking distance of the house is the main reason. But the food was good too. Sac Studios, where my daughter danced for many years and also worked when she was here over the last school year, since she couldn't go to university in Toronto, but she's there now, getting ready for her second semester of her third year, studying kinesiology. So I walked down this next bit of Albert when I came, so I'll turn right after I get across the street here, just to vary it a bit. Here on 15th. Hopefully you can see the snow coming down. I walked on the Crescent coming up, so I'll vary that a bit too and go down another block or two before I head down the last stretch to home. The dark buildings are good for seeing the falling snow against. For rent too, if you're looking. Suite for rent. 1 and 2 bedrooms, it says. Must be more than one for rent. They're boldly colored, these. As I said, they're good for seeing the snow falling against. Oh, why don't I walk down this way? this alley towards the apartment building there. Watch the snowfall. Of course, now what's in my head is beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Well, yes, it is, but Christmas has come and gone. Christmas is over and we have gotten fat. Time to start our diets and all of that. It's getting bigger. Now I can't see the top anymore. How many floors is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10-story building. Apartment building. Oh, let's go through here. Part of the parking lot. Oof. That's the Davin School playground in front of us. Crescent School. Now called. Could walk through the playground, I guess, but school's in session, so somebody might think that was odd. Not that they've cleared the sidewalk over here. But it's pretty well beaten down. Must have been cleared a little bit. Here's the school. Classes are in session. That's where my daughter went to elementary school. Through kindergarten through grade 8. When she started, that seemed like it would be a long time. Now that it's over, it seems like it wasn't any time at all. High school was gone in a flash, and she's already in her 3rd year of university. It's amazing how I'm not getting any older. Whew. Yeah, they really don't clear their sidewalks very well. I'm going to go over to the other side because it looks better cleared. Somewhat better, anyway. Oh, look, there's a dog. There are always dogs. Usually with owners. You don't see them on their own very often. This sidewalk has not been cleared either. Also belongs to the school, so is the school board not subject to the city bylaw? Inquiring minds want to know. There goes the school bus. Maybe school's over. Oh, I guess it is. They must have just finished loading and now they're off. is Connaught Crescent. Connaugght, if you're wondering. This side looks pretty good, so I guess I'll go over there because that's where I do have to end up. Playground. Wasn't very long ago I was walking out here looking at Halloween lights, but it doesn't seem like it was very long ago, but here it is January already. Because that house, called the Bishop's House, because it once was, built in 1910, I think. It's one of the older ones in the neighborhood. Always does a great haunted house thing at Halloween. Has people coming to our neighborhood just to see it. That's a nice house there too. Had good Christmas lights on their trees and stuff. And this is Retallic we're on. Now we will turn on to Angus and basically home. So I will stop here. I know, kind of short today, 2 20-minute walks, but it's something. Thanks for walking with me, and I will be back tomorrow for my Friday walk around the lake, I guess. Probably after a pretty good snowfall tonight. See you then.